thank you guys for having some of you guys here. We're on Pro Hustlers TV. I have a special guest here with me today, and it's Dr. Guy Arad. And I want to, before I introduce him, I just wanted you guys, if you guys are watching replay, just comment replay below. Let us know what part of the world you guys are watching from. Thank you for all of you guys that are here with us. And when you guys are going to be watching this, it's basically we're doing this to interview, hustlers, entrepreneurs, business owners, to sort of show and exactly what they're doing and how it works exactly for them, what struggles they go through, and what is the reason they started out here. So here I have Dr. Guy here with me. He's all the way from Vancouver, Canada. For some of you guys are watching from all over the world. He actually is a former Israeli military, and actually when I met Dr. Guy, I actually brought my actual dog to a vet, and that's how we actually came across each other a few years ago. And right now he actually is switched over to becoming an entrepreneur and a coach, and he's basically is trying to help other entrepreneurs and to be better at what they do. So thank you for being here with us. I really appreciate you taking the time to hop on here, and welcome to Pro Hustlers TV.
Hey, thank you so much, Rafael. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Excited to be here, support this show, and I think we've got quite a story that will resonate with a lot of busy parents and professionals for sure.
Oh, definitely. And the same thing, there's so much knowledge that we can bring in, because when we work a regular job 9 to 5, it's totally different what we actually do, the mindset and everything else that changes. But to just get us started, I know I talked a little bit about you, but maybe just share a bit about yourself and what do you stand for, and what is who is Dr. Arad?
Okay, so first off, I'm a dad. I have two daughters, 11 and 14. We're actually kind of implanted here on the west coast of Canada, but we moved here from Israel almost 12 years ago. And we moved here because of my background as a veterinary surgeon. And then about 6 years ago, I was really, I love what I do. But I didn't have any leverage, any lifestyle. It was always, hospital and around the hospital. And honestly, I wanted more time with my daughters, and I was introduced to a business. I had no business background, to be honest. But I really like the idea of building a side hustle, and kind of that's how I got into this, business world about 6 years ago, and obviously a lot of things changed since then.
No, that's great, and my story. I've been in the corporate world for like 18 years.
Yeah.
And same thing, a lot of times, when anyone comes into becoming an entrepreneur, they think they have to quit their job. No, you can do this as a side hustle. You can actually do this on the side. A lot of people started out. That's the best way. You don't want to be quitting your job, trying to figure out entrepreneurship, and then you're like, oh, what is it that I do here? So one of the biggest things that I always talk about, it's, because we all have different reasons, but what gets you out of bed every single morning?
Mm-hmm. So for me, it's all about my family and my daughters, to be there for them, to be my better version, to provide for them, and also for my team. I work and coach people in my business. And so, for me, I have a big purpose, and I stand in my purpose. So that's kind of what is, moving me outside of bed every single morning, and my cat is going to jump on. Hopefully that's okay. That's a home-based business, and we have a couple of cats and dogs. And
we interview cats as well. That's not a problem. And one thing that I know we were talking about previous to this is you were talking about a bit, about passion for pets and the volunteer and then the nonprofit organization, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can you touch on a little bit on that? What you were discussing a little bit?
Yeah. So one of the things I'm doing, I'm sitting on the board here in Richmond of the Regional Animal Protection Society, which is a huge organization, here that is not-for-profit, and it's a no-kill shelter, and we just launched a state-of-the-art animal hospital, and Canada's first. Well, I'll touch that later on because I'm a biohacker. So it's a hyperbaric therapy for dogs and cats, the first one in Canada, and we do amazing things for the community. So, for me, And a lot of people, and how I started, honestly, it's like, to make money and to have more time leverage in my life. Mostly for me, it was the time. But over time, as we evolve, and the mindset changes, it becomes more about giving and giving back. And I know you like that too. So that's one thing that is now is a big passion of mine, to give back to the community around my skills and background, right? As a orthopedic surgeon and a veterinarian, but be able to come back and give back to the community. So really excited about that.
And that's amazing. And a lot of times people say, well, when we talk about money and, make money, people say, well, money is not everything. But honestly, without money, you can't help yourself, you can't help others. And that's where it all starts. And for you to be able to do that, congratulations. That's amazing. I know I've been following your journey a little bit in regards to that, but that's something it's passionate for myself. I love to volunteer. I love to give back. Because when you do what you give out, it comes back way more back to you. That's what I believe. And the mindset is really fun. I love the cat.
Yeah, it's two of them. They're just watching some birds in the window here.
Yeah, it's funny because I was one of my girls. She has 6 cats, and she loves cats. So we actually ended up coming with like a cat lady, marketing for her. So that's awesome. And since we're talking about what gets you out of bed, what is your morning routine? Because everyone has different routines, and a lot of times, when I started looking for my morning routine, at first I try to mimic someone else. I try to basically show what they're doing, but it doesn't work. You have to find your own. So what is it that you do every single morning?
So for me, I call it lifesavers. And, I wake up, I'm like, usually it's 5 a.m. So I have kind of an hour to my routine, but, for busy professionals, I can show you a way to do it in 6 minutes as well. So I call it lifesavers, and basically it's based on the miracle morning. So what I do, I meditate, or I love priming. I'm a student of Tony Robbins. So it's going to be either a meditation or priming exercise. We can pop the links later on. It's amazing, connecting gratitude exercise that will get your blood moving as well. Yeah. And then what I do, I write in my journal. I use the 5 minutes journal. It's very simple. So, things like little things I'm grateful, and, it can be like my alkaline water, like my adaptogenic drink, my bed, and things like that. So I like to visualize. So I spend some time really visualize things with the vivid pictures that I have in my mind. I read my mission statement and things I want to do during my day. And I read affirmations, and my affirmations change based on where I'm going. And obviously, we always evolve. That's the idea here. And then I walk out. So, I can do like a 10-minute workout at home, or usually I'll go after this morning routine and I'll do a workout. I use a lot of kettlebells and TRX and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. I love the way you're talking about, because when we're busy professionals, and especially when you get into that higher, that you have to put in so much longer hours, and you're making good money, but sometimes you don't have the time to spend it. You don't work on yourself. And when we always talk about health is the most important thing, and no matter how much money you have in the world, you're not going to be able to actually buy your health. Same thing with exercise. Even if you're a billionaire, no one is going to do sit-ups for you. You know what I mean?
And that's a good point you just said, Raphael, and I love it. So, no one will do your own push-ups for you. And even if you're a billionaire, and I was on Ed Milet show listening the other day, like if people, are super sick, no one can carry the disease for them. No one will carry the disease.
I love that one. So, that's really, really good. I never really put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely we have to invest in our own health. And let's be honest, like the number one thing that will attract people and will help you, no matter what you do, even if you're working a corporate at the office, or even if you're talking to kids or wife, is energy. Energy. It's all about energy. That's kind of my game.
Even money is energy.
Yeah, right? That's it.
Yeah, no, and it's that energy. That's one thing, but it's the same thing we were talking, because actually I have my chart here and everything. I have the first thing I do is like gratitude, visualization, read or audio, stuff. Then I do talk about myself, the affirmation, exercise, mastermind, and then you get into the marketing and stuff like that. So I have all this stuff here set up as well. So it's similar. Most of the people that I hear, it's similar aspect, but how you actually do it, it's up to you. So if you guys are looking for a way to meditate, or if you're looking for things, I used to never meditate. I still don't do it as much, but it's crazy what I found when I started meditating was like, I come up with so many ideas. It clears my head so well. And it's like, oh my God, I can do this. I can do this. Your mind is so powerful. And we always talk about what you say, what you do is you attract. And before, when I started, 3.5 years ago, when I started on this journey myself, when I worked my regular corporate world job, it was like, to me, it was like, what's universe? What is like, I never used to believe in this stuff. Reading books. Why do I need to read books? Now it's totally different. And, so that's crazy. And then next one I wanted to go over, because I know this was really important for me. How important is it for you to have a mentor in your life?
So honestly, people are looking for shortcuts. What's the fastest way to get to my goal? And for me, as things appear to me, mentorship is like wisdom on fire without waiting. Wisdom on fire without waiting. And I'll tell you a quick story. When I started 6 years ago, I had my ego. Like
we all do.
Ego can be good and bad, but I had the ego. Oh, so I was with the military and I traveled by myself, and I have a couple of degrees, and I'm a doctor, and I wrote like 2 books. And when I came into the business world, I was trying to do it my way. And guess what? At the beginning, I fell flat on my face. And then it hit me after doing that and kind of verbally vomit on people, everything that I thought that is important for them to know, because I was very knowledgeable, like in health and inflammation and stuff like that. And I'm like, so these guys who are younger than me, they have no degrees, but they have time, they have money, they want to teach me. Why don't you guys treat them as you treated your professors at the university? Because the university, right, like for 8 years, vet school, and I was in Europe, I took notes, I took notes of everything, and I had to show up in a suit in front of a committee of professors who tested me, right? So when I started treating these people as my professors and really do exactly to the T what they told me and asked me, because it was for my own good, even and especially when I had a different opinion. So when I was able to slowly do that, things started changing. So mentorship is everything in business and life. And now, I'm on a mastermind as well. And, the people that are sitting on the mastermind, that are doing amazingly well and everything, they have coaches for everything. They have vocal coaches, they have meditation coaches, they have health coaches, they have marketing everything is about mentors.
It is. And I love the way you brought up in regards to when people actually come in and we all have egos. We all think we know it better. When I had a 15-year younger than me guy telling me, what to do. And I'm looking, I was like, I have more experience than you. But then we always look back as well onto when you have that professor and you go to the school and stuff like that, teaching you business, they're making $50,000, $80,000 a year, but they're teaching you how to make millions from a book.
Yeah.
I'd rather be spending time with someone that already has done it, a business owner experience, and actually pay them the $30,000 to teach me, because I think it will be way better. We always talk about that. So that's awesome. That's a good way. And one thing I always talk about, when we first start out, we all have different, things we go through. So can you share a little bit of your biggest lessons you have learned since you actually started your entrepreneurship? And you said you started about 6 years ago, but even before that, what are the biggest lessons that you want to share with our viewers?
There is a lot, but I think the two that really pop to mind right away is I would definitely believe bigger, believe faster. I would believe bigger and believe faster. And it doesn't matter what you guys are building. There are people in your niche and in your business who are exactly like you, who have what we're doing. So, when you believe bigger and you see it's really possible and doable, and you believe faster, it will kind of shorten the time it will take you, to get to your goals and your dreams and everything you want to do. So this is kind of my biggest thing that I really learned, is to believe bigger, believe faster, rather than spend the time trying to do it and then,
learn from
it. Makes sense. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then we all have, when I first started out, we all have those naysayers, people that are judging you. It's something different. How did you handle the judgments that are people, the naysayers, the people that would say, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? Some universe and manifestation and affirmations and stuff like that. It's totally different. It's like out of their zone. The 9 to 5, it's totally different than when you get into it. So how did you handle those judgments?
Yeah. So at the beginning, it was like an emotional roller coaster, because I had no business background, right? Just like vet school. And this was always my dream since I was a little boy. And especially, the business I started, family and friends and people around me. So I took it to heart. I was really hurt, I was really hurting at the beginning 6 years ago. And, and then, things started changing when I realized, and I'll give you a lesson that I learned from one of my mentors, and I invested like, 30 grand to sit with him one-on-one, Russell Brunson, okay?
Oh, wow.
So it's a quick story. Yeah. But one of the biggest takeaways, so let's say, there is a little boat that is going down, and it's going to sink, and there are 20 people on the boat, okay? And you are flying a little helicopter, a little chopper to rescue the people on the boat that is sinking, right? So, but you only have 8 seats. Who are you going to save? Who are you going to save, right? And back in the day, old guy, especially my background with the Israeli military, we never leave bodies behind. It doesn't matter. We bring them back home and everything, whatnot. But in business, and especially this day and age, is very different, okay? And we can only save the people that are willing. Meaning, the people that we're going to save from the boat are people who are not just standing on the boat and waving, hey, come and take me, come and take me. These are the people who are standing on the boat is going down, right? They see the chopper in the horizon. They actively jump into the water and start swimming towards the rope that is hanging down. So when I started to recognize that I'm actually looking for people who are like at the high noon time, they are willing, they want change, they're hungry for more, and more is not just more money, it's more a lot of things, right? And then the way I handle the naysayers is, okay, interesting. And then I stopped taking it to heart as well. Nowadays, I want to give them a little bit from my blessings and energy, and I do this little hippopopono method, which is, I don't know if you guys are familiar, it's a guy who works with kind of people who are doing time for killing multiple people. And it's a program started 20 years ago, whatnot. So I'm going inside my head, thank you, I forgive you, I love you. And I say that 10 times. Thank you, there's some lesson I learned. I forgive you, I love you, 10 times. And it brings so much peace from the situation. And even in extreme, like fights with family and spouses and whatnot, now I'm trained, my mind is trained to do that. Oh, wow, I feel better, and the energy is, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm good. And so that's the way I treat them today.
No, I love the way you said about the Russ Ransom. I think he's one of the best marketers in the world. He's got so much information, and everyone comes from different backgrounds. But like you're right, like there are so many things that you actually put into this. But when you do have, like for myself, when I first started out, it was like totally different. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing this Facebook Lives? What are you doing? Reading books. You're talking about manifestation and affirmation. It's different. But I always look for people that are open-minded. You know, you can be skeptical, but if you're open-minded,
Yeah.
you're coachable, you will be able to. But there are people that will try to drag you down. What I love about even Facebook and the other ones, you just cut them off. You know, get rid of the naysayers and stuff.
Yeah.
I love the way you said it. So what are the 3 words again that you say?
Thank you. I forgive you. I love you. And I say that 10 times in my head, and things are better. And I'll give you just to kind of wrap this point here. You know, guys, if you, and I'm plant-based these days, I'm vegan. But, you know, before I was also, you know, I was vegetarian, but still eating seafood. So if you take crab, okay, and you put a big king crab in a wooden bucket, okay, the crab can climb its way up out of the bucket, right? But if you put 10 crabs in the bucket, they will stay in the bucket. And why is that? Because they are hanging on each other, bringing down. So
Yeah,
we have to make sure we don't get trapped in this ourselves, right?
Yeah, I know that saying. It's the bucket. You know, you put the bucket, you try to climb up, and there's that one naysayer pulling you down. So
yeah. So we have to move ourselves from this environment for sure.
That's awesome. All right, what are your current struggles? Like, what do you because we all have struggles in businesses or anything any projects that we're working on. What are your current struggles that you're dealing with?
Yeah. So for me, it's mostly right now, number one, saying no to a lot of things, and stay laser focused on the 3 things that I'm growing that we talked about. Kind of, you know, we had this chat before we popped on, and also to be able to manage myself, because we cannot manage time a little bit better. So this is something that I didn't do very well 2018, and I'm using the passion planner. So like Sunday afternoon, I kind of map out, you know, my week. Me and the wife talking about that. We watched a funny, there's a funny video on YouTube of this guy. He's a UK guy. He was kind of interviewing Mark Wahlberg. I think, is it Mark Wahlberg, the actor? And he invited him to his place to do his morning workout that starts, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And he shows his schedule. And you won't believe, I'll send you this video. You'll have like the crazy laugh. But so for me, it's right now is managing myself in between all these projects that I'm doing, number one. And my other struggle is really get like bigger influencers into my business and kind of go, you know, grow bigger and attract these, you know, kind of higher influencers, bigger influencers into what I'm doing. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And that's one of the things. It's what you attract. People are watching. So any of you guys are watching right now, some of you guys, I know. Thank you for all the messages. Because I know I get some messages, actually, people saying, hey, Rafael, can I get on the show? Can I get the interview as well? Definitely just message me. I would love to help you guys out as well, too. But, I mean, thank you, Dr. Arad. It's to have you here. It's so cool. Let me just a couple more questions. I know
Sure.
you're really busy and schedule stuff
Yeah.
like that. But, you know, when you reach, you know, the certain results and stuff like that, but one thing I had problems with when I first started out my business and I was working regular job, you know, the corporate job, and on top of that, it was how did I balance your personal life or your family life with your business?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great question. I won't tell you I'm perfect. I believe that we have to embrace that at times there will be no balance. I do not believe in balance at all times. Absolutely not. I think there are some periods we have to go crazy. We have to go bananas. We need to have the conversation with the family. This is why we're doing it. This is what we're getting in the end. So have them part of this discussion, like why and where are we going, right? But otherwise, yeah, like, you know, for me, like last night we had a date night. You know, I have pockets and quality time that I'm trying and book now for the week, like with my daughters. And sometimes I have 2 daughters. Sometimes I like to do one-on-one as well, like just with one of them and the other one, right, as well. But it boils down again to sitting like on Sunday, mapping out the week, and we have to, like with the lifestyle that we lead, especially when you're home and whatnot, we have to treat this as a business appointment.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of dry and cold, but we have to treat this as a business appointment and actually book it in. Book it in the daytime and grabbing lunch with the wife and a walk with the dog and everything. We have to book this in.
And at the beginning, I know, like especially when you're starting a new business or you're starting a new project, your wife will not understand as much. But it's like, imagine at the beginning telling your wife, "I'm going to schedule you in." It's like, what? But then once you start doing it for a little bit, they start to understand more. And the same thing with me. It's like, when you schedule it, because you're going in so many different directions all the time, it's sort of hard to realize exactly where you're going to be and stuff like that. So, and I know this one, just a couple more here. Let's say everyone has different habits, okay? And successful people have habits. What are some of your examples of those habits that successful people are using and yourself are using to be to have the success?
So, there are a lot of them, but I think there are mostly 3, I would say 4 that I'm going to talk about. And I think one of them is take responsibility. One of them is for sure take responsibility for where you are. And that's totally okay, but you have to know where you are and you have to be responsible and take responsibility. It's not the fault of your boss. It's not the fault of your wife. It's you, number one. And I think the second one is take massive action, even if you don't know everything, okay? So I think that's the second one. Like a lot of the things that I'm doing, like now launching this hyperbaric, first one in Canada, for dogs and cats, like till, 2 months ago, I didn't know much about it, right? Even now we're experimenting, right? But we have guidance and everything. So, it's just, you don't have to know everything. You have to take imperfect action. That's that's the second one. And the third one is you have to understand failure and be willing to fail, right? And understand that this is just kind of moving forward. And a lot of people, they are like, when I talk to them, whether it's like fitness or business or whatnot, I tried everything. I'm like, okay. Let's talk about the 100 things you tried, for example, to lose weight. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you didn't really try everything, right? Same thing in business. Oh yeah, I tried this company, I tried this product, I tried online marketing, it didn't work and everything, but you didn't try everything, right? You didn't try everything. So you have to just move from failure to failure with a really positive mindset and attitude, and understand that successful people that are making it in business, they went through 10, 12 things. But they went in a compressed period of time, right? So that's the kind of the third thing. And the fourth one, the biggest, I think, skill that we need is influence. Is not to be influencer and kind of, fake it and take pictures with a rented Ferrari or anything. I'm talking about how to really move and influence people, to their families, how to talk to them, and be more influential and develop this influence over people, because this is how you get people to take a look at your business. This is how you help and coach people, and they see you as a coach because they know you're influencing them in a way that they believe that you can help them, right? So these are the 4 things and habits that I think really separate kind of people who are losing from people who are winning.
That's awesome. That's a good one, and that's a good way to actually end the interview. And you were talking about variable, like anything you do, like even in our business, when I have my students, my clients are coming in and they're learning, because I'm an online business coach as well. What they do is come in and, they ask me, when can I see the results? When can I do, like, everyone is just eager to learn the aspects of business, but they're not willing to put in the work. And there's a couple of things. First of all, you're the only variable, because a lot of times if we give you the same training, same mentorship, same coaching, everything else, why some people are getting results and some people the other one. And then my mentor said, if you're not willing to put in 3 years of your life, or even 10 years of your life into something that can actually change your life, then you're not willing to, because a lot of people are willing to put in 40, 50 years of working for someone else and having maybe a pension. And you know, same thing with gym or membership. You know, think about January. January is right now. You know, we all come in and everyone signs up for gym membership. 10,000 people sign up, but there's only maybe 5% of people actually have results. Why is that?
Exactly.
They have the same membership, same things. And what they're going to do, gym, oh, the gym didn't call me to come in, or the gym didn't make me, you know, work out or stay in. It's up to you to have the results. And that's the biggest things I see in entrepreneurs, is that our go-getters, the hustlers, are the ones that are actually willing to fail, willing to do the work, willing to actually sacrifice things temporarily to have a better life in the future. So
exactly, Rafael, and willing to grow too. Like I suggest we change the question. Don't ask yourself, how can I make $1 million? Ask, how can I grow to be this man or woman that is worth $1 million, right? So, because there is a lot of growth. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, even when we talk about, you know, people want to make $100,000 in a year. What you want to do is don't just say, well, I want to make $100,000. Act like one, become one, do the things like one, and you're going to be one. So anyways, Dr. Arad, how can people contact you? You know, what is your Instagram? Maybe what is your Facebook? Something. So someone, maybe if you want to, you know, if they're watching this and they get some value. Hopefully you guys have, if you guys are viewing here, comment replay below. If you guys are watching live, let us know if you guys have a little bit of value. Even if you learn one thing, maybe the morning routine or something like that, our job is done. So that's amazing. So how can people contact you here?
So my handle on social media, I think it's also on it's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me at Guy Aradster. If you want to pop it later on in the notes, GUY ARADSTER, Guy Aradster. Also, I have kind of, you know, those, I'm a biohacker as well, so I do kind of weird shit with my health and everything, you know, Tony Robbins, Tim Ferriss style, things like that. So I also created a little guide that will help entrepreneurs mostly to, you know, to biohack energy, habits and mindset. And so I have it at gutbustersecrets.com. So people can download this PDF and guide as well. But yeah, mostly at Guy Aradster on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Awesome. Yeah, we can maybe pop it into the chat, maybe put it in the comments or something like that. So guys, again, thank you guys for being here on episode 9 of Pro Hustlers TV. Awesome interview. I think we got a lot of value. I've learned a couple of things already as well. So for all of you guys that are watching, you know, let us know what part of the world you're watching. And again, thank you again for your time, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
And I just want to really recognize you for kind of stepping up and putting this value that will help a lot of people, Rafael. And I think you're an amazing coach and a person, and I would love to obviously stay connected and see what's happening with your show.
We will, for sure. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Bye, guys. Take care.